Shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson. Shout out to All on the Business Podcast. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on social media at All on the Business. Make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so I could get my subscribers up, so I could actually start getting paid for this good knowledge I'm dropping. All right. Got my coffee. I woke up in the middle of the night, got some work done. I really can't rest past 5 hours. I really gotta, I wouldn't call it a sleeping disorder, but I definitely can't sleep past 5 hours. No more than 6. I wake up. I got a built-in clock. It keeps me on top of my shit. So, however, we back at it on this live. The babies is resting. Everybody's resting. I'm back on this live. Hair all fucked up. But that shit don't matter because I'm here for a reason. You know, my disappointment and the feelings I've been having is causing me to do a podcast. You know, growing up, I was always taught that to stay off the internet, to teach it on the streets, to teach people in real life, to avoid the conflicts of artificial intelligence, to avoid the social media theatrics. And I always have agreed that certain information just can't be transmitted over the internet. It has to be transmitted face to face, in person, walking and talking. So we seek educators in all walks of life. But the reason you need to be educated is different than the reasons others need to be educated. And you know the others I'm talking about. You see, we are a nation within a nation. And as far as I see, when I look around, it don't feel like we got shit. And maybe I need to look myself in the mirror and count my blessings. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to count my blessings. But I'm still going to analyze the things that I have. I'm going to analyze my blessings. Because I don't want my blessings to stop. I want my blessings to keep going. I want to keep receiving these blessings. And I don't see nothing outside of me blessing me. I don't see nothing mysterious about receiving blessings. Tyson Fury said, in regards to his win over Deontay Wilder, people called him lucky. This pissed him off. Pissed Tyson Fury off because he said that he had been working his entire career. He said he missed the childhood. He missed his teenage years. He missed high school fun. He missed the college parties, all because he wanted to go to the gym and hone his technique and get better at boxing. So Tyson Fury threw everything away just to be a boxer. So when you call that man lucky, he becomes offended because at this point he's dedicated his whole life. He don't have shit. He puts it all on the line in the ring. His reason to win is different than my reason to win. We all want to win. Nobody wants to feel lucky because everybody's working hard. And I guess in sports, that's a common ground where you could work hard and maybe you could be blind to racism just for the time being while you're playing your sport. And you get paid to do it, which is why so many people who obviously just can't be naive to the fact of the shit that's going on but still don't speak up because they was in the position of us one day and they told themselves, man, I can't wait to get the fuck out of this ghetto And now that they out of the ghetto, you want them to speak on things that could put them back in the ghetto. They could lose their job. No NBA player want to work at McDonald's, man. I mean, there's definitely a story I know about a brother that was in the NBA who ruined his whole NBA career hanging out in L.A. And I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to shed no negative light on this brother in real life. But if you're from L.A., then you know who I'm talking about. Dude was in the NBA, got knocked out outside the club, in the streets, gang banging, dealing with drugs, hanging out with the homies. The point is, man, we got to stop doing things that other people do for the same reasons other people do it. It's like, man, I want a boat and I want to go ride on the water on the lake. But I know that riding on a lake, I get a different feeling than a person who's riding on the lake who has generational wealth already. Like they could just ride on the lake, park the boat, smoke a cigar and relax. But me, I got to ride on the lake, park the boat, smoke a cigar, and think about all the shit I got to take care of. All the bullets I got to dodge. Y'all don't think, you don't think I know what I'm talking about? Okay. This is what I mean. When you black in America, you can own a house, you can own a car, you could be intelligent. You public enemy number one at that point. It's like, since I owned a house, I've learned so much about law. Because when you own a house, you gotta register a deed at the county where you own your house. And if you don't have a lawyer, then you need to learn how to type a deed up yourself. So I typed the deed up myself. Legitimate, registered with the deeds office. My point is, when you look at a deed, which many people have never seen, because many of our people who claim to own their house are actually paying a mortgage to a bank who has a lien on the property, and many of our family members have never seen a deed, especially on the West Coast and Far East and Far West. You rarely see people who own their house, who have the deed to their home. I mean, even your grandparents that pass away don't own 100% of their house. The bank always has some type of interest in it, and it's never a positive thing because the bank's always ready. They never got to get ready. But nobody's ever ready for their grandma to pass. There ain't no staying ready for that. Ain't no getting ready for that. I mean, you could prepare. However, that's not something we think about because we be holding on to grandma. Because we want this shit to last forever, like Keith Sweat said. We want it to last forever, but good things don't last forever. Especially these bodies, these vehicles we living in. They expire. You wake up every day on the run. On the run. I gotta go to work. I gotta pay the bill. And this is not just you. This is not a black exclusive thing. Working, paying the bills, taking care of the kids, taking care of the house is a everybody thing. But does everybody want to clean up my community? The only time others want to clean up my community is when they're ready to move in. I went to go get some food the other day, African food. And it just made me think, white people love African food. No foul point intended. I just thought about South Africa fast. I said, damn, There's millions of white people enjoying African food every day. But me, I got one African spot I could go to. Listen, man, I want to play this thing. This is why I'm really here, man. Let me stop bullshitting.
The average American will be picked up by this plan.
Hold up. Hold up. Now listen, man. They about to talk about Joe Biden telling the IRS to look in everybody's business. Everybody's bank account is about to be monitored. It's already been monitored, but Joe Biden is asking for the papers. He wants to know which one of y'all, feel me?
Incredibly long email from your boss that you have to finish before the big meeting starts in 10 minutes.
Y'all don't understand. I've been on this shit, man. I've been on this law shit for a long time, man. I'm going to tell you right now, man. Don't talk to me about things that don't matter. Don't talk to me about sports. Don't talk to me about your favorite music. Don't talk to me about nothing but something that's going to help our children. We could talk about sports if you want to talk about how your son hit home runs. We could talk about music if you want to tell me about how your daughter is hitting them high notes and playing the piano at the same time. Show me something. Even then, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed by no kid that could shoot a jumper. I'm not impressed by no high school student that could slam dunk. I'm not impressed by no little girl that could spin on one toe and hit a high note. I'm not impressed by no girl that could dance good. That shit is not impressive. I'm impressed by the woman that invented LASIK eye surgery. I'm impressed by Harriet Tubman for having some fucking heart like that. Yeah, that's impressing. Yeah. All that shit y'all motherfuckers doing, Serena Williams, all that, the Beyonce, that shit ain't impressing me, man. Jay-Z, that shit ain't impressing me, man. I'm the real, man. This ain't no putting down blacks. This is real. I got the flag on my neck. So I don't give a fuck if you put the flag on your chain. See, you could take that off. I got to wear mine everywhere I go. So don't talk to me about anything other than this 8-point program we on. Press play. Also, if you got children and you want your children to learn some supreme math, some supreme alphabet, some lessons, don't hesitate to inbox me, Supreme Understanding, A-Life. It's a lot of brothers online that you can reach out to that's true and living, that you can see in the hood, that we out here. You can meet up with us. We'll meet up with you. This shit is a reality.
Well, thank you, everybody, for coming today. As I think you very well know, the reason we are here is to raise concern about the proposal that is now being moved forward aggressively by the administration and in the House and in the Senate to have the IRS be given authorities to look into the financial transactions of Americans on a scale that is broader than we have ever seen in this country and totally unnecessary. I want to hit a couple of things. I know that in response to the concerns we've already been raising, there has been a suggestion that, well, we'll fix that by changing the income limit from $600 or the trigger from $600 to $10,000.
So they said it was a trigger. What triggers the IRS to look into your account? Anything over a $600 transaction. And then they said, okay, we're gonna limit the capability and the authority of the IRS to look into these accounts by increasing the minimal transaction rate from $600 to $10,000. So if you spent you have to spend $10,000 from your bank in order to be investigated. However, keep listening.
I just want to read to you.
Wow, look at this.
That's a commercial in the middle of the motherfucking thing. I hate that type of shit, man. We 30 seconds in.
What the average American runs through their account in the United States during a year. This is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The total is the average American runs over $61,000 through their account.
So if the average American runs over $60,000 through their bank account, and the IRS came up with some shit, oh, we're not going to investigate 600. We're going to investigate 10,000. The average American, I mean, even the poor people push over 10,000 through their bank account throughout the year.
Housing, $20,000. Transportation, $9,000. Personal insurance and etc. $7,000. The list goes on.
So what's that mean? You're going to have to start paying your bills through money orders. Think I'm fucking playing. Pay your bills through money orders. Because let me tell you something. When Caucasians complain, there's something to complain about. When you see a Caucasian man in a suit with a loose tie come in this motherfucker and complain to other Caucasians in suits with loose ties, you know it's a real problem. You know that they trying to address something, but at least they speak to each other. They don't got to go to the gym and be like, yeah, I might get into a fight. These politicians don't even go to the gym. They work out that brain muscle all day. They trying to figure out how to keep control of you.
Healthcare, groceries, restaurants, entertainment, cash contributions, apparel, clothing, education, personal care. The average American runs $61,000 through their account. The average American will be picked up by this plan. And I think virtually every small business, think about a credit card account. By the way, the proposal doesn't include just banks and credit unions. It includes financial institutions. That'll be Venmo.
Whoa. They be dropping some jewels in these motherfuckers, man. Y'all got to be listening. He said banks.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Hey, man, sometimes my computer be listening to me. I don't like that shit.
Pal, the average American will be picked up by this plan.
Listen.
And I think virtually every small business, think about a credit card account. By the way, the proposal doesn't include just banks and credit unions.
It doesn't just include banks and credit unions. So he is making a distinction and differentiating banks, credit unions, and financial institutions. How many times have you heard somebody call a bank a financial institution? So now he's going to tell you what a real financial institution is and differentiate it from a bank and a credit union.
It includes financial institutions. That'll be Venmo, PayPal, you name it. And
you name it. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. The thing I like about Cash App is, motherfucker, you can't even call in and get nothing done. They don't even got nobody to talk to in that motherfucker. Who they gonna talk to? Cash App gonna get sued. Cause it's like, it's been times where I sent money on Cash App and sent $20 extra and asked for my money back. And Cash App was like, once you click yes or accept or confirm, it's all on you, baby. It's all on you, like BG.
The IRS ability to dive into these accounts will be the biggest violation of individual privacy that I think this country has ever seen.
All right, the biggest violation of individual privacy. Oh, he's a bold-faced liar now. The biggest violation of individual privacy in this country is without a doubt, hands down, 1,000%, the transatlantic slave trade. God damn it, slavery was the violation of individual, public, private privacy. Whatever kind of privacy you could have, it was violated in slavery, okay? So let's not act like when we listen to these politicians that we just gonna take everything on face value. No, motherfucker. The IRS, listen, this is not even the first time the IRS has violated individuals' privacy. See, what they don't want to tell you is that Caucasians was very upset about the 16th Amendment. You know, the 16th Amendment is what gave the Congress the right to tax your income. But it's not to tax everybody's income. It was made to tax the 14th Amendment citizen income, a United States citizen income. Just like the 15th Amendment gave the right of a citizen to vote in the United States, a citizen of the United States. This is a very clear language. Even my own lawyer don't even want to talk about this shit with me, and she gets very defensive if I bring it up. So that's how I know the racism is fine rooted. That ain't no diss, no shot. I love my lawyer, man. You know, my lawyer, she does her job and she's the shit. But at the same time, I know that there's limitations and boundaries set by the courts and by the laws, which basically makes my lawyer and all lawyers officers of the court first and foremost. They're not an officer of you. They're an attorney for you. But they're officers of the court with bar numbers. If they don't follow certain rules of court, they could be barred from court. Held in contempt for things you can't be held in contempt for. For example, misunderstanding something, you know. A lawyer is not allowed to misunderstand something unless it's legitimately misunderstood by law, and she can show forth through statute why she can't understand. But she can't just stand and say, I don't understand. That's not an objection or any type of sustainability, because you not understanding is showing forth your incompetence in court. And as an individual, it's fine to be incompetent in court, because you can't proceed with any court case or any judicial procedure when you are incompetent of the subject matter. When you don't understand what's going on, they're not allowed to try you. At least on paper, they say they're not allowed to try an incompetent person. However, there's been many incompetent original people in court who have been railroaded. You know, we could talk about the law, but we also have to realize you ain't white. I might say, look, I got a slogan, right? Treat me right. No, don't treat me right. Treat me white. Don't treat me right. Treat me white. And a lot of people, look, my earth told me one day, hold on, man. See, you want to be, she said, you want to be like the white man. I said, ain't that something? I said, see, you really don't understand. I don't want to be white. But I don't want to get treated like a slave no more. I want to get treated with real decency. See, I don't want the rights, because the rights came after. I want the Bill of Rights. That's what I want. Okay? Just give me the Bill of Rights, include me and all of my people, and we the people, and then get rid of the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th Amendments. I guarantee you, if they ratify the 16th Amendment and they tax state citizens, the state, they can't tax the states. They could tax, and the people are the state. That's the point. There is no state without the people. See, this is why your state, and the problem is, after the 16th Amendment, your state incorporated. Man, you don't believe me? Maybe before that, I got to do some more research. But when I say incorporated, California Republic. California began as a republic of settlers. You know, the gold rush helped build California, and people coming from the South, Mexicans. And California is a republic. However, there's two Californias. You have the California Republic of the Union, and you have the State of California Corporation. The corporation is who you pay taxes to. You do not pay taxes to your state. When they say state taxes, they mean the corporate state. You do not pay taxes to the California Republic. And the California Republic does not pay taxes to the feds. The taxes that Congress is going to collect is the property taxes. Congress is not supposed to be taking income taxes. They do have the power to levy taxes. However, they never levied income tax until they freed the slaves. I mean, look at this motherfucker's face, man. I don't give a fuck, man. Fuck that shit. Show these motherfucker's face. Look at this motherfucker's face. That's the same face they gave when they freed the slaves. But yeah, we'll free them. But guess what? Except for the punishment of a crime they're convicted of. And they don't differentiate the crimes. They just say Congress has the power to enforce this with appropriate legislation. All right, man. Just get rid of the 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm we the people. Give me the Bill of Rights. Declaration of Independence. Crispus Attucks fired the first motherfucking gun in American Revolution. Benjamin Banneker redesigned the Capitol from memory. Mathematician, came up with a 300-year almanac. Y'all gotta start listening to these politicians. We can't say that the things that they talking about don't matter. And we can take notes.
I got more to say, but I got guys behind me.
Yeah, we don't want to listen to them other guys.
This $99
I see why people say they look like reptiles. Old motherfuckers look old and nasty, wrinkly. Out of all the fucking Senate, Ted Cruz is my favorite. Ted Cruz, my favorite senator. Shout out to Ted Cruz. Shout out Ted Cruz.
The nays are 49. The motion to discharge is agreed to, and the bill will be placed on the calendar.
And now, Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent the Senate proceed to immediate consideration of S-2093 for the People Act of 2021.
Is there objection? Seeing none.
For the People Act of 2021, y'all need to look that up. Y'all need to know what that is. For the People Act. Who are the fucking people? I want a definition. Then I want definitions of the definitions. And then I want definitions of those definitions. And then I think that'll be enough for us to understand who in the fuck y'all talking about.
Order. Oh, Senator from Texas.
Reserving the right to object.
Senator from Texas. Y'all know what it is. Senator from Texas. Biggest drug dealer in the Senate. Shout out to Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, whoever the senator is for Arizona and the senator for California, y'all motherfuckers got some answering to do, man. Like, I don't give a fuck. We gonna bring this shit back up. We gonna keep bringing it up. Fuck that shit. Because we the ones that gotta clean this shit up. Y'all brought all these fucking drugs into America. Let's just keep it real. Y'all still letting fentanyl in on the border. And then y'all want to complain to the president about what Trump did and what he was doing. And complain about all y'all do is act like y'all complaining, but y'all not really complaining. This is what y'all want. Y'all doing exactly what y'all want. Let the drugs in, let the guns in, and talk about other shit. Like Ted Cruz, somebody else should be like Ted Cruz. There should be another Republican, but he's speaking for Texas as far as the border. But nobody else is speaking up saying, motherfucker, you letting all the drugs in. You telling us about illegal immigration. And y'all motherfuckers is fentanyl deaths is at an all-time high.
This bill would constitute a federal government takeover.
I mean, you got to be careful when you touch anything, because you don't want to take taking drugs right now is so out, and I don't even take drugs. I've never taken drugs. But when you talk about using drugs on the man, I'm telling you right now, to even touch a pill, you got to be a fool right now. Motherfucker might be anything on that motherfucker, man.
Elections, it would constitute a massive power grab by Democrats. It would disenfranchise millions of Americans, and it would do precisely the opposite of its nominal title for the people. It is instead for the politicians, because it entrenches politicians and ensures that the people cannot vote them out of office. It would strike down virtually every reasonable voter integrity law in the country, including voter ID laws supported by the overwhelming majority of this country, including prohibitions on ballot harvesting, again widely supported by people in this country. It would mandate that felons be allowed to vote, and it would automatically register millions of illegal aliens to vote. It would profoundly undermine. This
motherfucker is so anti-black. He says felons and immigrants, but what he means is black and brown people. The black people are the felons, and the illegal immigrants are the brown. Why does everybody want to come here? It's going down. What the fuck? Listen, just keep coming. I know what they scared of. They scared that we gonna be more than them. They scared it's gonna be more black and brown here in this country. They don't want us to have a higher population. And they don't want us to have an opinion. I'm not a felon. For the record, I'd like to make that clear. But I speak for the felons. Why? Because I'm a 5%er. Yeah, that's the truth. I teach the truth. I teach civilization and righteousness. That's what we do. And I can see through what he's saying. And that's because I've been studying law for a little bit, and I know that there's a real language called legalese. There's a language called legalese, and when I first heard it, I was like, that's not no fucking language. But it is a language like Chinese or like any other language you got. Spanish, you got legalese. Basically, words, the meanings of words change. When you in court, the meanings of words change. When you talking about law and business, legalese.
Democracy in this country, and for that reason I object.
The objection is heard.
Mr. President,
Majority Leader.
the Republican minority has just prevented the Senate from even having a debate, just that, on voting rights in this country. I understand my Republican colleagues don't approve of every aspect of the Democratic bill to protect voting rights. But surely there are areas where our two parties can find some agreement. Partisan gerrymandering, for instance, has plagued our country for too long. It skews our democracy towards the extremes. It strips the American people of their right to have a truly representative government. Voters ought to pick their politicians, not the other way around. But in so many states, partisan legislators draw maps that artificially maximize the number of seats that the majority party will win. Some districts are so safe that
They're mad. The liberals are mad at the conservatives because they're conserving their spots. Conservatives conserve. Liberals want more freedom for the white man. Liberals understand that every felon ain't black. At the same time, they feel like the liberals is trying to act like Abraham Lincoln too much.
extreme candidates can run and win with hardly any competition. Surely my Republican colleagues would agree that partisan gerrymandering deserves a debate on the Senate floor. It's a small part of S1, but one.
The Senate debates. They debate about laws.
Has broad universal support. So I ask unanimous consent, and the support, by the way, of all 50 of my colleagues, of 49 of my Democratic colleagues. So I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of S-2670, Calendar 119, the Redistricting Reform Act of 2021.
Is there objection?
Mr. President,
Senator from Texas.
reserving the right to object, the text of the Constitution explicitly assigns the power to engage in redistricting to elected state legislatures in the states. There is a reason for that. That ensures that redistricting is controlled.
Redistricting is controlled by the state. We got a senator from another state trying to control the redistrict in another state. It's not going to happen.
By the people. We have an unfortunate pattern in today's Congress, which is today's Democrats no longer believe in democracy. Their Bill S1, what many call the Corrupt Politicians Act, is designed to prevent the voters from voting Democrats out of office. This bill, the bill to remove the state legislatures from their constitutionally appointed responsibility of being in charge of redistricting, would instead assign that to commissions and ultimately to the federal courts, to unelected federal judges. Now, redistricting and gerrymandering can lead to ugly consequences. This is not new. The founders were well aware of the ugly consequences of gerrymandering. Indeed, the very word gerrymander comes from Elbridge Gerry, one of the founders whose district was so contorted it looked like a salamander. That's where the district came from. The founders knew that if you give redistricting to elected politicians, they will act based on political concerns. The reason the founders did so is even with those downsides, it keeps the process accountable to the people. If you instead hand it over to unelected commissions or to unelected federal judges, the people are disenfranchised. That is a serious mistake. I would note, over a decade ago, I defended the constitutionality and the constitutional assignment of that responsibility to the state legislatures before the United States Supreme Court in the Texas redistricting case, and we won a landmark 5-4 victory where the Supreme Court upheld the clear constitutional authorization of legislatures to engage in redistricting, even if they engage in political concerns, because the check on that is not unelected judges second-guessing the people. Rather, the check on that is democracy and the people engaging in their own check and balance. Accordingly, I object.
Mr. President.
I just want to be one of the people. Listen, that don't mean I'm trying to join your party. I don't want to party with you. I don't want to party with you, man. I don't want to party with them. DJ Quick said, I don't want to party with you. Because you scary. Something. Your legs is hairy. I don't want to party with you. That's some old school. You know, y'all should check that out, man. I like that song. But anyways, I'm just saying, Ted Cruz has a very strong point. The thing is, they not talking about the right thing. But, okay, for the sake of their discussion, Ted Cruz is right. You cannot give the government the power to redistrict in your state, especially the federal court, because now it's going to be political interests involved, and the people are the politics. You got to let the people decide how they want stuff to be ran. They saying basically keep it like it was in slavery when basically, you know, we used to hang motherfuckers where we wanted to, and we did what the fuck we wanted to. And I'm not mad at Ted Cruz for still wanting his people to do what the fuck they want to do. Because that's why the government was made, for people to have freedom. The thing is, it was made crooked because people had the freedom to enslave black people. And now, you know, if they keep approving anything, it's all approved on the back of blacks. That's what needs to be understood. You know, they're redistricting, but all this land is ours. It belongs to the original people of the land, and they took it. You know, they took it. They got the Indian Removal Act as a icing on the cake. You know, that wasn't the first thing they did, but the icing on the cake was making all them original people from down south in the southeast, you know, walk all the way to Oklahoma. Land patents gave title. So if you own a house, if you have a deed, and you look on your deed on, you know, where it's the real property description, it's going to tell you exactly who that title belonged to originally, that land title, you know. So they divided all that, and that was up to the people, because the government in the 1795 Naturalization Act, they allowed people from Europe to come here, and they said you had to be a free white man, first of all, and you had to be practicing, you know, Christianity and all that. You had to be a free white Christian man. No matter where you was from, you had to come here and be, and you could practice whatever the religion was. But at that time, they were building a country with the Christians. You know, there were no quote unquote, like it was some Jews, but there wasn't no Jewish people here yet. No, they wasn't pushing that line. They was pushing Christianity on the blacks and pushing Christianity in totality as a religion for the entire country. So they gave the land for free to all the Caucasians that they moved in. Gave them tools for free. And in return, they said, you know, you got to till the soil and help us build the country. And this is how the land was divided. And at first, it wasn't no 50 states. It was 13 colonies. And they built on that. Pause. Thought I heard something. But So they took the land, they gave it to the free whites. They divided it. Eventually, it grew into 50 states. At first, it wasn't 50 states.
As heard, Majority Leader.
So the American people should understand, Republicans just blocked the Senate from even debating legislation to end partisan gerrymandering and make our Congress more representative of the people. Surely our Republican colleagues, however, would agree that billions of dollars in anonymous campaign donations every year is not a function of a healthy democracy. Surely they must agree that America's representatives should have only one boss, the people, not the special interests. So I'm going to ask the Senate now to debate a simple measure to bring a much-needed transparency to campaign donations. Just transparency, not even limits, although I would certainly support those. At the very least, the American people deserve to know who is trying to influence their representatives and how strenuously. So I ask unanimous consent the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of S. 2671, Calendar 120, the Disclose Act of 2021, which has the support of our entire caucus.
Is there objection?
Mr. President,
Senator from Texas.
reserving the right to object. I would note there is a long history of government trying to force the disclosure of the identity of political contributions, and much of that history is sordid. Indeed, in a landmark case before the United States Supreme Court, racist Southern Democratic politicians tried to force the NAACP to hand over their donor list. And they wanted to do so for reasons that were not difficult to discern, because they protects against that forced disclosure.
The Supreme Court knew this day was coming. The Supreme Court said, man, we got to look into the future. And the future says that Ted Cruz, that Texas, one day is going to be faced with a challenge. And somebody's going to ask one of these Texans to disclose their documents. And if we let the KKK win this case against the NAACP, then we'll set a precedence for the ones that come after. And the science is the NAACP is not owned by black people. We can't let white people... Listen. The NAACP, though, it has a lot of high-powered black people in it. So, therefore, it's seen as a black organization. So, we just have to put our thinking caps on when Senator Cruz speaks, because he's very intelligent.
But I will say, the majority leader said just a few minutes ago that surely there must be some area of common ground, and indeed there is on this issue. I think all of us, if we were speaking in a moment of candor, if we were not engaged in our typical partisan battle on the floor, would acknowledge the current system is stupid. The current system makes no sense. Super PACs make no sense. Why is that? Because in all of our elections, every one of us has run for elections. There are super PACs, which are independent groups. It is illegal for us as candidates to speak with those independent groups. And in every one of our races, I see the senator from Arizona. He's going to have a hotly contested race. It wouldn't surprise me to see $100 million or more spent in his race, perhaps on both sides. Much of that will be spent in super PACs. It is illegal for us as candidates to communicate with those super PACs, and so we are left with a bizarre situation where there's millions or sometimes tens of millions of dollars being spent on behalf of us, millions, sometimes tens of millions of dollars being spent attacking us, and we can't communicate with them. We hope it has some bearing or relevance to what we believe. Every Congress since I've been here, I've introduced legislation to end this. This is legislation called the Super PAC Elimination Act. This act does two very simple things. Number one, it allows unlimited individual contributions to federal campaigns. Not from unions, not from corporations, but from real human beings, from people, unlimited contributions. I would note, this is the way the state of Texas handles state elections. Number two, my legislation, the Sewer PAC Elimination Act, requires immediate 24-hour disclosure. So if an individual writes a check to a campaign, that gets disclosed immediately, and you can debate about whether that contribution was corrosive or not. This legislation would not prohibit super PACs, but as a practical matter, super PACs would fade from relevance because every candidate would much prefer money given to their campaign where you can spend on your own message. It would make far more sense to have an open, transparent system. Accordingly, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of a bill at the desk that would protect freedom of speech in America's electoral process and ensure transparency in campaign finance. I ask unanimous consent that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and that a motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Mr. President,
Majority Leader.
I object to the senator from Texas's legislation. It's obvious to just about every American it would make a bad situation even worse. So I object.
Objection is heard. Is there objection? Is there objection to the original request from the Senator of New York?
I object.
Objection is
Mr.
heard.
President, in
Majority
conclusion, before I turn it over to some of my colleagues. So Democrats have tried to do something very simple. We asked, Republicans said no. Democrats asked to debate a measure just to prevent partisan gerrymandering. And I'm frankly, in my colleagues.
And this type of shit is just, this don't matter. I'm done listening to that because, you know, it's all an attack going on, and y'all got to be able to see it for yourself. It's a big attack, and the main attack is on righteousness at all times. So y'all be smooth, man, and we gonna put this message out. You know, and tonight's message is just read through them lines type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to know what's going on out here. You know, got to stay sharp. And at the same time, got to stay within the confines of the law, I guess, so to speak. I mean, you know, don't do crime. Stay legitimate. And the thing is, that can only be done if we study the law. We'll never know if we are doing things 100% right if we don't know the law. I mean, just right in accordance with this Constitution and with these laws. Because guess what, man? This is a claim. This is a declaration. This is we the people speaking. You feel what I'm saying? This is the declaration. This is my Bill of Rights. And we can't enforce that, unfortunately, because people like Ted Cruz and the other senators, they not gonna respect that, even if they say it out loud on paper, because we know y'all used to hang black people. We know that y'all don't really give a fuck about us. And if y'all did, then we will see it, we will feel it. But at the same time, they probably saying like, do y'all give a fuck about each other? Do y'all give a fuck about yourselves? Do y'all care that we control everything? Do y'all care, you know, that we got these corporations lined up and we got these Fortune 500 companies all lined up and we teamed up and we get bread? You know what I'm saying? Like, they get bread, but the bread they get, it's not about money, not about fiat currency. It's about power. It's about, they already got the gold and the silver. It's about the power. Power is the real profit. You know what I'm saying? And the control. You know, and they control us with the money. So, once again, it's the Tea Party. We got to throw away the tea, man. We got to give back the money, give back the jobs, and do for self. And this is the only way, man. And it starts with civilization. So clean up your community and clean up your community some more. And that's all we really can do is civilization first, and that's real. And no matter what we going through in this country, we could clean up, man. If we known as the people that clean up, then people might start listening to us. Like, see, Claude Anderson said, you got to have businesses and economics before you can have politics and anything like law, police, anything go your way. You got to have business and commerce. But what I say is you got to have civilization first. If I really see this, like if we just clean up, and cleaning up once or twice for myself, we ain't gonna see it. You gotta keep doing it. So I gotta keep cleaning up. And you gotta clean up. And we gotta make a collective effort to go to other places. And the little clicker, the little grabber, a little trigger grabber, you clamp it and it grabs the shit off the floor for you, so you don't gotta touch it. But you gonna supply the gloves and the sweaters. This is what we gotta do. And we gotta march through these streets and clean up the trash. We don't gotta shut people's businesses down and get in people's way. Let them do what they do. We gotta clean up. We gotta just pick up trash. We the trash people. We gotta do that right there. Clean up the community where you at. Clean up the ghetto. If you don't live in the ghetto, don't go to the ghetto and just walk down the street whistling Dixie. Pick up some trash. That's what I don't like about a lot of people, that when they move in to the community. But you could take a good note from Caucasians that gentrify your shit. They not coming to clean it for you. They coming to take it from you. And they first thing they do is clean up. You gotta clean up, man. D Mecca. C Medina. Mecca. Love Allah. Everywhere you go, man. All the cities. Calling all camps. Cleanup crew. You work, that's good. Cleanup crew. Sunday coming up. Gotta go clean up, man. I'm trying to see it. I'm trying to see the tunnel vision. I wake up thinking about some Neely Fuller Jr. type of shit. Like, anyways, man, we're going to tap out. It's been an hour. Hopefully this was a good one for y'all. Something y'all can watch. I need to start having some guests. I guess ain't nobody up at 2 a.m. I'm up thinking, man. Thinking. Nah, just playing. But on a real note, I'm going to have another topic later. Because it's a new topic every day, man. But I ain't going to get on again. I think I'm going to take a break on this good old Sunday coming up. When the light come out, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a new day for me. And y'all, I'll see y'all later, man. I'm just going to tap out. I'm trying to think of a way to say, like a proper way to leave the show. But I guess the only way to leave properly is to say peace.